And I find it curious that the member's suggestion stops at ministers. In his own example, the UK, all MPs, including opposition MPs, have to declare their assets, not only ministers. The inference I can make from the member's reference to conflicts of interest in his speech is that it is because ministers oversee ministry budgets and ministries are involved in procurement tenders. But let us not forget that all our elected MPs, opposition MPs included, have a part to play in the running of town councils. Town councils handle tens of millions of dollars of contracts every year. So the potential for conflicts of interest to arise for backbencher MPs is also quite possible. So by that rationale, the member's suggestion should have extended to all MPs, opposition MPs included. But in many countries that have such declarations in place, there are problems with evasion, which becomes a political hot point. The content of the declarations themselves also become political issues. For example, the assets of Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, which distracts from debate on real national issues like jobs, housing and the economy. The underlying anti-corruption intent is lost. Last year, we heard two ministers explain their housing choices in Parliament. To be fair, let us look across the aisle, on my side of the aisle as well. I would not be surprised, given their past careers, that many opposition members in this House live in private condominiums or landed homes. When made in declarations, these would also become part of the political debate and perhaps even elections issues. Is it relevant? I don't think so. What is relevant is the actual work and impact of MPs on the ground, as I had mentioned earlier. But my concern today is the effect of these suggestions on attracting persons to become MPs, both for the ruling party as well as for the opposition. Many of these people would have already had some success in their careers, and understandably, they would have put their hard-earned monies into properties and other investments. Imagine now asking them to put this all up for public scrutiny. They are new candidates. There is no question of corruption at that stage because they were private citizens. This would be a huge deterrent. So I think we must be careful when making such suggestions. We should not just pluck and propose without looking at the current system that we have and how effective it already is. That is taking it at its highest. But taking it as it appears to be, I think we should not propose mechanisms that have the effect of politicizing the private lives of politicians, and in this case, only a particular category. Sir, I will end my speech. Sir, budget is allocated to Parliament to carry out its functions with competence. Let us ensure that we build an environment where good people are not deterred from entering politics and contributing in this House and in Cabinet. Failing to do so will be to the detriment of Singapore and Singaporeans. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. I figure I should, since member Mr. Raj Thomas mentioned my speech. So I just wanted to clarify with him if he's suggesting that all MPs should make asset declarations and not just ministers, and does he think that anyone in this chamber will try to hide their assets?
Mr. Raj Joshua Thomas.
Sir, no, that's not what I was saying. I think I was essentially asking why is it that the member stopped at a certain point? Because in the example that he used, the UK, it was not only ministers that declared their assets, but all MPs had to declare their assets. So that was really the point that I was making. I was not saying that I was not suggesting that this is something that we should do. In fact, if you look at the gravamen of my speech, it was really to say that it's not something that we need to do within our system.